Earlier, I spoke with Rajiv Kumar, renowned economist and also former Vice Chairman NITI Aayog. Here's what he had to say about this price hike. Joining us today is renowned economist and former Vice Chairman NITI Aayog, Mr. Rajiv Kumar. Sir, thank you very much for joining us here today on Times Now. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. I want to ask you about the fuel price pain that India has got. Petrol and diesel prices have been increased by 3 rupees per litre. Your first reaction, we know it was inevitable, but did you expect prices to go up by 3 rupees?
Wonderful to be here. And, my first reaction actually is that this is lower than what I had expected. I'm being honest about it, because given what's happening to the global oil prices, with the Brent going up to 110, 120, and now around that level from about 80, and then the shortage of supply because of the Hormuz crisis, I was expecting a higher rise, and so I think the government is trying to calibrate it. And therefore, I'm not being a carrier of bad news, but a little more, some price hike. I hope it doesn't happen, but could come, subsequently.
Okay.
Therefore, this is very mild. This was inevitable, as you say, and I think all of us must accept this is the price of the West Asia crisis.
Can I ask you, you said that you expected it to be much higher, the price hike. What was the range were you expecting?
I was expecting between around ₹5, and could be, for example, petroleum could have been up to 7, and diesel could be lower, because diesel's impact through the economy is much higher through the transport sector and the cargo and all of that. So, and the petroleum prices really are. The petroleum use is mostly consumption, our private vehicles and cars, etc. So therefore, what could have happened is to hike the petroleum prices more and keep the diesel prices a little lower, and also the gas prices, because gas is kind of a necessary, consumption item now. It's one of the essentials. So, but therefore, by keeping them both at the same level, I think. Government, as I said, is trying to bring in the inevitable, but in a gradual manner.
The argument by the opposition, Mr. Rajiv Kumar, is that when in the last 4 years, Brent prices were lower, at that time, the government did not pass on the benefit to the consumers, but now when the prices have gone up, they have passed on the burden.
Yeah, that's right, of course, but the government is just not, price is only one factor. The government has to take into account several factors in balancing the macroeconomy. And as I said, if you pass on the price decline to the consumer, that means that the bottom line of the oil companies, oil marketing companies, become worsens. I mean, they take the hit. So therefore, and then also a part of the price, to finished price, is government taxes, and government taxes contribute significantly to overall revenue, which keeps our fiscal balance in check. So the government has to be, it's always walking on a tightrope as far as petroleum prices are concerned, or for that matter, railway prices or electricity prices, because these are all basic inputs into our daily life. So which is why the prices were not passed through, the price declines are not passed through. However, what I hope, however, is that the government will at some point let the markets decide